I'm Brian Johnson, Executive Director of the Alliance for Worker Freedom, and welcome to the first installment of a new series called Big Labor's Christmas Wish List, where we will look at exactly what the $600 million that labor unions have given to the left in this past election cycle, exactly what legislation that will buy. Joining me to discuss Card Check, or the Employee Free Choice Act, which is our first topic, is Ryan Ellis. Ryan is the Executive Director of AmericanShareholders.org. Ryan, thanks for being with us.
Great to be here.
We're going to talk about the economic impact of Card Check. Now, Card Check is legislation that will do away with a worker's right to a private, secret ballot when voting on union membership. Currently, the American auto sectors are having a lot of trouble, and they are highly unionized. Ryan, what would this do to American competitiveness and American industry?
Well, Brian, over the last 30 or 40 years, we've seen a spike in productivity in the U.S. economy, which has led to higher wages, higher economic growth, and a higher standard of living. Undoubtedly, part of that contribution to the higher productivity has been a decline in the unionization of the workforce. Back in the early 1970s, something like a quarter of the workforce was unionized. Now that number is down to about 12% overall and about 7% in the private sector. Unions are a cost to business. They extract profits from business, where they ultimately reduce overall net aggregate wages, and they certainly reduce the return on capital.
So with Card Check, more and more businesses will be unionized.
Yeah, the union's goal here is pretty clear. What they want to do is make it easier to force unions on workplaces by taking away the right of a worker to decide in the privacy of a private ballot box whether they want to be represented by a union or not. They want to replace that with a system whereby a union goon would go up to a worker publicly and say, here, sign this, and then the union would be established that way.
So the way I see it is, currently we've heard about GM and their situation, and with this bailout, now, is the bailout going to go to GM, or is it going to go specifically to these unions? And, you know, what happens if Card Check passes and Toyota, Kia, Hyundai are now open to rampant unionization? Are they going to have some of these main troubles that GM is having? I mean, is that a foreseeable future?
Well, this bailout is going because the unions have extracted so many concessions out of GM and Ford and Daimler Chrysler over the last 20 to 30 years. So if you're giving this bailout, this is really nothing more than the Democrats giving money to their organized labor overlords who really got them into office this past election. And if you love what you're seeing in the Big Three in Detroit, pass Card Check and watch it happen to Toyota and Honda, then you'll really see the U.S. auto industry in trouble.
So Card Check basically will take away a worker's right to a private secret ballot and a federally supervised union election, and replace this with just sign a card and you're a member of a union. I mean, that just seems like some of the most anti-democratic legislation that I've ever heard of.
Yeah, this actually goes back to the New Deal. Back in the New Deal, workers were given the right to this private ballot, the right to this, to be able to, in the privacy of a secret ballot, to decide whether or not they want to join a union. Unions and the left want to take this away, and they want to do it for one simple reason. They want to turn that declining percentage of the workforce that's unionized and turn that right around and have a growing percentage of the workforce that's unionized. What that'll do is over time make us all poor, we'll all turn into Western Europe, and we're all going to have a lower standard of living than we otherwise would.
Great. Well, H.R. 800 is the Employee Free Choice Act, Card Check, and here at the Alliance for Worker Freedom, we are vehemently opposed to this legislation. Visit www.workerfreedom.org for more information about us and Card Check, and continue to stay tuned to YouTube/Worker Freedom for more installments on Big Labor's Christmas Wish List.